The CHAOS is back. Join us August 30th and 31st for the 59th Annual Labor Day Classic, presented by Twisted Shifterz and headlined by Funny Car Chaos. See over 32 funny cars pounding the ground. And for the first time ever, the CHAOS champion will be crowned right here in Mo-Kan. Catch wild, wheel-standing Dirty South Gassers, jaw-dropping backup girls, jets, and more. Kids 12 and under are free, and every ticket is a pit pass. Friday night and Saturday, August 30th and 31st. Visit Mo-Kan for more info, and we'll see you at the CHAOS.
Yes, we will. Good evening, everybody. We've been working our way through a few technical challenges. And let me ask you this right up front. If for some reason you can't hear me, if you'll drop a note in the chat so that we can find that out. We did have a few technical difficulties getting started. That's why we kept you waiting. I assure you it was nothing other than that, because we have been chomping at the bit to get back on board with CHAOS Live and get back in touch with all of our great friends out there in CHAOS Nation. Man, there is so much to talk about. Some events all across the country, from Albuquerque to the East Coast, and we are getting ready to go into that 6th annual championship finals. We'll talk about all that and more, and we're going to have a conversation tonight with all 3 of the Funny Car Chaos champions that have been such a significant part of making Funny Car Chaos everything that it is today. Again, welcome. My name is David. I'll be your voice in the chaos, and we are happy to have you on CHAOS Live tonight. I've got a great show lined up for you, and that great show is going to continue into the weekend when we get back to one of our favorite places to go, Mo-Kan Dragway. Cannot wait to see the fan base there and to see the Blanton family and all that group that makes such terrific things happen at Mo-Kan Dragway. But we're going to rewind it just a little bit and going to take you back to Albuquerque Dragway, Autodromo de Albuquerque, and we will recap the events that happened out there as we had the 2nd annual CHAOS in the Cactus. And you think about Cactus being in the desert, and one of those things that you may remember from your schooling early on is that sometimes it rains in the desert, and it's not really where you want to be on the day that happens. Well, the day that happened was Friday, the first day of our CHAOS in the Cactus out there at Albuquerque Dragway. We completed our first qualifier, and we're getting ready to go to the second one, and the skies got extremely dark, and the water came down in buckets, and it was the Wild River Canyon in the pit area of Albuquerque Dragway as the water was flowing through there as it tried to find a place down the mountain. And so everybody had to regroup from that. But even with that being considered, we had such a good time. The fans out at Albuquerque Dragway were phenomenal. They did a terrific job of persevering through the weather and through the conditions. And we had a great crowd and a great show. And we had a first-time winner, as that has kind of been a trend with the last few races that we've had. And we'll kind of recap that for you right now. We had in the A field, the winner at the event out there at Albuquerque Dragway wound up being Fast Lane Shane Lawson. He kind of picked up that name out there at Albuquerque with that 200-mile-per-hour run in 2023. And they came back with a vengeance, and they were very intent on getting themselves to the winner's circle, and they did just that in that A field final round, as they were able to get it done, and they got a win over Lyle Greenberg. As Lyle Greenberg probably doesn't want to talk about this final round, but let's just say that the car rolled through the beams there, and so he did not get to compete for the title as he had already turned on the red light. But that team out of Porter, Oklahoma, they really got it done, and so they got the win in the A field. Now, one of the teams that showed up for the B field, this was our second time to see them, and this was the Lawless Oldsmobile Forenza funny car that we found out some history on that car, that it used to be a Pat Austin car, and we talked with them earlier, and they got the win in the B field. And of course, Wayne Hoffman closes the deal in the C field final. And you may remember some of this conversation from before, but it was a terrific time out there. I didn't get the chance this year to announce with our good friend Gene Grant out there, but I did get a chance to announce with and meet their new announcer at Albuquerque Dragway, Nico. Hey, buddy, this one's for you. As joking around with him, I said, Nico, that's my favorite cracker. He laughed, and I said, well, that's really not a slam. That's my favorite cracker. So anyway, but we had a great time, and that was the final race out west. And then it was time to go all the way to the east for CHAOS Goes East, and that East Coast event for the second year running, just like the second year running for our Albuquerque event. And Russ and Janelle put that honeysuckle rose tape in the 8-track player, and them and Jordo made their way across the southern United States, singing On the Road Again as they kept their streak alive. And they managed to keep another streak alive as they got to another final round, as they wound up being runner-up in the C field to John Sergio in that beautiful Warpath Buick from New Jersey. So we had two brand new winners in Funny Car Chaos out at the East Coast event, and that being John Sergio and Joe Perrone finally does close the deal. I say finally like it's been a bunch of times. It hasn't. It really hasn't taken them very long at all to park that machine in the winner's circle, but their Camaro got the job done over Joe Morrison and in his Avenger in the Alky Digger B field there. So the winner in the A field, the Rodax Custom Coffee A field, that was DJ Cox, as he repeats second time in a row for them to win the A field. This year they get the win over Melinda King in that final round. And yeah, don't forget about Bill and Kimberly's boy Jagga, as they put on the burnouts for Bunnies and Bear, and they had a great turnout there. Kirk Duckworth over Charlie Benson in the A field, and Ray Urban over Mark Prince in the B field. So a great time had by all. Another successful event on the CHAOS Tour, and so there's much more to come with our championship finals. There's much more to come on tonight's show. So hang in there with us. Our first guest is going to be Ken Singleton. We're going to have him coming up right after this break. Hang in there.
Check out Twisted Shifterz for the largest selection of made in the USA custom shift knobs and adapters. Made for muscle cars, old and new, hot rods to race cars, and for the big rigs. With our original shift toppers adapter for the air shifters to use any threaded shift knob like the old days. Add custom lettering and logos to make it your own custom shift knob. TwistedShifters.com. We are made in America and we ship worldwide.
What a great lead in to our very first guest, who just happens to be our very first champion in Funny Car Chaos competition. Welcome to the show again, Ken Singleton.
Thanks for having me.
Oh man, it's always a pleasure to have you on. And we wanted to talk about tonight. We're going to talk with each of our three champions, and of course, you were the first one and racked up those three in a row. And after that first season, if the first season that you raced Funny Car Chaos, there had been a championship, you would have had four in a row, because that was certainly a great way to go. But we want to welcome you back to the show, and just kind of for those who continue to tune in to Chaos Live and to become familiar with Funny Car Chaos and what the brand is continually growing into. Take us back just a little bit. You've got the championship pedigree, but it didn't start with Funny Car Chaos. You got a few championships from days gone by, not on the asphalt, but on the water.
Yeah, we started out boat racing back in 1998 and run a bracket boat until the year 2000. I went 2 years just running an 8-second bracket boat, and in 2000, we built a pro capsule boat and run it. I really run from 2000 until 2007. And in 2002, I won the IHBA World Championship. In 2003, I won the IHBA World Championship and won the SDBA Championship. And then in 06, I won the SDVA championship. And in 07, I won the SDVA championship. And then I kind of took a break from kids. Then I started with the cars.
Yep, you got back to the cars, and that was certainly to our benefit. Now, you got going in Outlaw Fuel Altereds, among other things, but in the mid 2010s, you got that funny car chassis that I think you did. You guys build that car originally for Jackie Stidham? And
we were involved. Jackie, my brother Boyd did all the welding on it, and I helped Jackie. It was really Jackie's deal. I mean, we had a Pat Austin car. He had a Pat Austin car, and we copied the Pat Austin car, and that's the car that I won all the championships in.
Yeah. All right. So
a copy of a Pat Austin car.
All right, man. That was certainly a good pattern to to pattern your car after, because it certainly had a lot of great pedigree there. Okay, so in Outlaw Fuel Altereds, 2017, last race of the season, and it's final round down at San Antonio. I don't know if it's the last race. I think it's the last race of the season, and so you're lined up with Nitro Nick Polison, and that was just before the very first Funny Car Chaos. And, what were your thoughts on Outlaw Fuel Altered racing and funny car racing at that time? Were you already ready to go funny car?
No, I love the fuel altered deal, but I always wanted to run funny car. I mean, them guys were great, and we learned a lot about asphalt, because I didn't know anything about cars. I was a boat guy. So it took us several years to kind of figure it out, and I had some great people help me along the way, and we did get it figured out. But in 17, Chris had told me about what was going to take place at Denton, and I had a funny car body, but Stidham actually still had it, and he had it stored up on top of an office in their old building, and I just couldn't get it from him, so it didn't work out. But I wanted to run. We just couldn't make that race. But the next year, I made a point that we were going to make it work the next year, and then that's when we started.
Yeah, and you guys came out that first season. There were 4 races on the schedule. You raced in 3 of them. You got 9 win lights, which means you were undefeated in the races that you ran. And I got to tell you, I think a lot of folks will point to that season and the way you guys came and showed up, and treated it like it was championship drag racing, and it was certainly a lot of fun. But you guys treated it like a real championship series, and I think a lot of people caught on to that very fast and began to see, hey, this is a real deal. So when we went, when John Hale stepped up for 2019 and said, okay, let's turn this into a championship chase, you guys were already ready to go with that, weren't you?
Yeah, we were ready to go. And in 19, there was some pretty hard hitters. Alan Middendorf was running, and Brandon Lewis was pretty stout. And Kevin Kinsley run some races that year. But we come with the intention of winning that championship. I mean, that was my goal. I'd won championships in boats and knew what it took. And I told all the guys, I said, this is the goal. I mean, we're going to win this deal one way or another. So, I mean, when we started the race, that was the full intention, was to go rounds, because winning a championship a lot of times is not necessarily winning a lot of races. You just gotta go rounds to win the battle. And we went through that in boats. I mean, I kind of knew how it worked, and you got to go rounds. You don't have to win, but you got to go rounds. If you don't go rounds, there's no way. And that's what I told them. I said the goal is go rounds, and we'll see where we go.
Yes, absolutely right. So you've got you're 13-7 and 20 final rounds in your Funny Car Chaos career. And you just gave me kind of my next question, because as we're going into this championship finals, we've got an incredibly close battle, and I know you're very, very well aware of that because you've got a car in the hunt. But that mindset of a champion, and this is what I'll ask the rest of the other two champions as well. But going into this championship finals, your top 5, your top 7, you got a mathematical chance. What's your mindset going into this deal?
Mindset's I mean, look, really, we've been fighting this car for a year, and we had tested right before Albuquerque, and we had changed some stuff. We went to Tulsa and tested, and the car finally started reacting the way I wanted it to react. And then we go to Albuquerque, and it's still doing it. Like it's doing what I want it to do. And it's taken a year to get it to do that. So I feel good about going into Mo-Kan because I always run good at Mo-Kan. And I think I got a race car now that'll kind of do what I want it to do. And the goal is, we need to qualify number 1 or 2, and we need to beat Kirk.
Yeah, just
yes,
go.
we love you, Kirk.
I'd like to pair up with him before the final, actually.
Well, I tell you, that's that's going to be a big part of it. It's coming in there with the right mindset, peaking at the end of the season and feeling like you've got a chance to go in there and close the deal. And you guys raced in probably one of the best series. That first year that Kirk was in, you guys were in a knockdown drag out that year. And it was one of those epic showdowns. It looks like we get another round, just a little bit different this time. But anyway, so your new business is going well. We are excited for you on that. And man, as always, really a pleasure to have you on CHAOS Live. And we can't wait to see you at Mo-Kan.
I can't wait to get there. We're loading tonight, and we're ready to roll. So it'll be fun. No matter how it turns out, we're gonna have fun. So
no doubt. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there he is, the first champion of Funny Car CHAOS. Had 3 in a row, and he's back doing turning the wrenches on the Man of War and some others. Maybe not this weekend, but and some others. Which reminds me, get well, Casey Giesland. And so we're going to be talking with our next champion coming up right after this break. So thanks to Ken for being on. Y'all hang in. Kirk Williams coming up next.
Taylor Motorsports Products is your first stop for quality safety equipment for your car or your driver. All of our safety equipment products are made in our facility in Albany, Oregon. From custom fit fire suits to racing seat belts, supercharger restraints, engine diapers, transmission blankets, and many other must-have items. Our racing history runs deep. We are racers building the finest safety equipment for racers. And we're a proud supporter of the CHAOS.
Larice Motorsports Insurance offers drag racers the broadest insurance policies in the industry. Larice Motorsports Insurance was created by racers for racers. Larice insures race cars on and off the track, trailers and equipment. Larice even pays racers contingencies at the fling bracket races. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Larice Motorsports Insurance today.
And we're back on CHAOS Live, and we have got our champion from 2022, one of the most dominant seasons that we have ever seen, a guy that's got all kinds of credentials to do that, and we're glad to have you back on. Welcome to the show, Kirk Williams.
Yeah, it's good to be here, Dave. How you been?
Man, I've been really, really good. I tell you, it's been, seems like forever since Albuquerque. It really wasn't that long ago, but getting to Mo-Kan is going to be a blast. Hey man, you're 11-6 in 17 final rounds. You came to Funny Car CHAOS, and you and Ken Singleton really had a heck of a battle there in your first year, and then that 22 season, you just took it. What was it? You left 5 points on the table or something. It was 6 points. Left 6 points on the table, and so. What we're doing tonight, and I think you probably have already picked up on this, is we want to salute our champions because I'm not sure that we get a chance to do that enough. And you have certainly represented both your family, your team, and Funny Car CHAOS in a great fashion. not only the year you were champion, but you've never finished worse than second place, and you're going into the finals, the championship finals, sitting number one in points in a very tight race. Tell us about it. What's happening in 200 proof world?
Well, we just got the car. It's loaded up. It's prepared to go. We just went through everything with a fine-tooth comb. We had a malfunction in the car, in the clutch there in Albuquerque, and we got that straightened around. So we're headed into Mo-Kan with everything squared up and ready to roll. So it should be a good event. I mean, there's going to be a lot of good racers there. Ken and Toon and Shane's car. Got Bill Bernard. What's his name with the penny pincher? He's going to be back with Will Hanna. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be a cakewalk for anybody. So you're just going to have to be on your game for this one. You can't make no mistakes.
Do you approach your going into a championship finals event like this any different than you approach any other race that you go into? No. We approach every race in the same way, to win. We go there and Ken said it best, we go there to collect points, because if you can't collect points, you ain't going to win a championship. So you just got to go with the mindset, and that's what we do, is we're going to go rounds and just keep going rounds. The biggest thing is for us is if the car can make a good solid run right off the trailer, then we're in the ballpark, and then that's what's going to make it tough on everyone. So, and that's what we're kind of hoping for. We got some good notes from years past there. We've always done well there. So that's kind of what we're looking for. Come off the trailer, hit it hard, and put a number for everybody to shoot at, right?
Well, yeah, and plus, we got that deal that Al Hoffman put on, or, I always say Al.
Hey,
that's just
you're not the only one.
I know, but anyway, with the grade 8, so nobody's gonna get any time trials per se in that field. It's gonna be roll off the trailer, and you better be there, or you're done. So yeah, it's gonna be, there's actually, for some people, there's gonna be 3 events there to win: the grade 8, the points, and the championship.
Oh man, that is exactly right. So yeah, that grade 8 shootout with Spell Paving, Hoffman Masonry, Evergreen Lawn Care, putting up that extra money. This could be, if somebody comes in and runs the table, talk about a big payday. If you win the grade 8, you win the event, you win the championship. Wow, that's going to be one of the biggest paydays in the history of Funny Car Chaos. And, several folks with a chance to do that. And you guys are certainly in contention for that, coming in at number 1.
Well, so, I'll tell you, Dave, we're bringing the broom.
I know that exactly what you mean. If you can sweep it, man, it is going to be one more celebration. And I think there'll probably be an enormous party there at your section. Probably you and the Brutus crew will have a big time if either one of you does that sweep thing.
Yeah. It'll be a good time, no matter what happens. Championships are great, and go to the races are great, but at the end of the day, it's about being with your family and having fun, and that's the key here, is go there and have fun. Yes, we all sit here and it's intense. You want to do great, and you some hearts are broken. I'll be the first one to raise his hand, but you just got to remember the ultimate goal is you're here with your family, and that's what's fun. Yeah,
it really is. And of course, your operation, practically the whole operation, is family. You guys are so close, you can answer each other's sentences just about. And when you come up to the starting line in that car, I imagine you've got plenty of confidence knowing that when you step on the pedal, it's going to be all right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My brother Chris and my nephew Marcus and my other brother Randy, and Terry and Steve, they all just put so much work into this car. So, I know when it's up there at the starting line, it's going to be right. And it's up to me to pilot it down the track and get the win line.
Yep. Hey, since you were a kid watching Vern Motes set the bar extremely high and inspire you to do what you do, have you been involved in other championship runs that still fire you up even years later?
Pardon me now?
Well, you've been in some other championship races before.
Yeah.
And I know you're a forward-looking guy, but sometimes there's those things that you look back on, and even today, it still fires you up. You have some of those in your past?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll give you a real quick one here. Every championship we've won, and this is the shout out to everybody, so watch it. We've won our championships on even years. Every one we've ever won through NHRA and the CHAOS has been on even numbered years. And here we are, 2024.
So if there's a little even year mojo out there, it might be favoring the 200 proof team, which is also an even number.
Yep. There you go, Dave. It's even number 2. Yeah. So.
Well, I tell you, this has been good. It's always good to spend time with you, whether it's in person at the racetrack or if it's here on CHAOS Live. But thank you for tuning in. We salute you. We honor you and your family and your team for being fantastic champions. Who knows? This might be your second time, and we certainly wish you well as we go into the finals.
Well, thank you, Dave. I really appreciate being on here, and we will see you at the track.
Excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 2022 even year champion right there, Kirk Williams, as they have their Firebird. They've already got it loaded up. It is ready to go, and they're looking to come off the trailer and fire one of those fantastic shots. So we've got another champion coming up here in just a little bit, as we will have 2023's champion, Tom Furches, coming up for us after the break. So hang in there.
Driven Racing Oil's GP1 Nitro 70. Trusted by top engine builders, winning racers, and devoted horsepower enthusiasts across the world. Driven takes legendary base oils, such as the ones from Brantford, Pennsylvania, which comprise our GP1 line. Then, we boost that superior base oil with state-of-the-art additive packages. Driven's GP1 Nitro 70 not only provides anti-wear protection, but can shield cylinders from washout and fuel dilution caused by methanol or nitro-based fuel. Learn more about Driven Racing Oil by following us on Facebook or Instagram at Driven Racing Oil, or shop now at drivenracingoil.com.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. We have got our 2023 Funny Car CHAOS champion, a guy. Listen to this. This guy came into the Champions Banquet after the 2022 season, called his shot, said, we're going for the championship. And not only did he call his shot, they came through in 2023 and delivered. They've been great champions. Tom Furches, man, it's good to see you. Uh-oh, are you muted? Trying again. Uh-oh, this may be one of those technical things that we had going on earlier in the early in the day. So I'll kind of Lee, I know you're watching, and I know that you might be able to help with this. But one of the reasons that we got started a little bit late here tonight is because everybody could hear everybody except one, and we didn't have that one, and we seem to be having that difficulty here right now. So we'll see if we can get that part of the challenge taken care of, because we definitely want to hear from the third Funny Car CHAOS champion in that lineage, and we certainly have a distinguished lineage of champions in the world of Funny Car CHAOS racing. What a joy to hear from Ken Singleton and to hear from Kirk Williams. Those two guys have represented the organization, the series, in a fabulous fashion, and Tom Furches learned well from the champions that came before him, and so we are anticipating getting the chance to hear from them. We could see his mouth moving, but we couldn't hear anything coming out. So working on those technical difficulties, and just as soon as we can do that, we will get back to it. In the meantime, if you have already made your plans to be at Mo-Kan Dragway this weekend, then great. We look forward to seeing you. But I always say there's only two kinds of people in the world: people that love Funny Car CHAOS and those who haven't been yet. So if you're in that latter crowd, haven't been yet, why don't you discover just how good life can be and find a way to get to Mo-Kan Dragway this weekend for the 59th annual Twisted Shifterz Labor Day Weekend Classic, presented by BA Bodies and featuring the 6th annual Funny Car Chaos Championship Finals. We have got a great bunch of sponsors and organizations that have really done an awful lot to make things happen. And we alluded to it just a little bit earlier. There are more than one, there's more than one thing on the line. Of course, there's always the event title. And when you go in there and you come away with the win in either the Rodax A field or the Alky Digger B field or the Wolf Pump C field, you're going to take away a nice amount of cash or check, depending upon how it's paid at that particular event. The points that go with it go towards that championship. And since this is the final Funny Car Chaos race of 2024, the championship is going to be decided. And we have got one of the closest races in the history of the series. It's always been close. Well, I can't say that it hasn't always been close, because Kirk Williams really did a number on everybody. He was a championship before we rolled into the championship finals. But this time, Kirk has got a 3-point lead over second place Wayne Hoffman. He's got a 7-point lead over third place Fast Lane Shane Lawson. He's got a 14-point lead over the Flying Butcher Chris Schneider in the Brutus car, and a 20-point lead over Jade Cook in that Nemesis out of Oklahoma. And not far behind Chuck Lofton and Bill Bernard, they have still got a shot at making, if either of the top 5 slip up, they will be right there to capitalize on any mistakes that are happening up above. So it will be all about where you qualify, how consistent you are at getting down the racetrack, and those who make it the most rounds on Saturday in eliminations, whoever that is and qualifies the best, is going to come away with that 2024 championship. The even numbered years, Kirk Williams and his group feeling like that might be a good thing for him. So, Tom, we can see you now. Can we hear you? Uh-oh, still can't hear you. I'm so sorry. And I know you're not muted, so it is not on your end. We had this, Lee could hear us earlier, but we couldn't hear Lee. And apparently that same gremlin has somehow got into your connection. So, man, we are anxious to hear from you. And we really hope that is able to happen. But, talking about Tom, his 2023 season, it was not without its struggles, but it certainly had that big victory at the end of the season, as they were able to close the deal and become the 2023 champions, and a very popular championship it was. You can't miss Tom at the racetrack, and he and his crew, they are a hardworking bunch, and kind of the little guy's hero, kind of like they used to say about Carol Caudill out of Amarillo, the modified eliminator world champion back in 1970. Little guy's hero, and Tom Furches doesn't have the fastest car in the series, but he did have the consistency to close the deal and be the champion in 2023. So that was a great thing to see, and we will have a lot more great things to see when we get to Mo-Kan. But this Grade 8 shootout, we're talking about the racers that qualified the best through the 2024 season. And the way that shakes out, Kirk Williams in the number 1 spot, he qualified first. You talk about what his strategy is. He likes to come in off the trailer, put a big number on the board for everybody else to shoot at. Well, he did that 3 times, qualified first, and 1 time he just missed qualifying second. He also qualified 4th in the other race that was that counted in this deal: Ennis, Baton Rouge, Penwell, Cordova, and Albuquerque. Wayne Hoffman comes in second with a couple of second, a third, a fourth, and one of those first qualifiers in the C field. Chris Schneider had a first, a second, 2 fifths, and a sixth to place third in this Grade 8 shootout. Shane Lawson 4th, Jade Cook 5th, Bill Bernard 6th, Chuck Lofton and Jordan Ballou filling out the top 8. So there's 8 competitors in this Grade 8 shootout. They are going to be paid extra money for this, and the winner will get $2,000. This will be in conjunction. It's not going to be a separate race. It's a race within a race. As these competitors make their qualifying runs, they will be paired by chip draw, and then they'll go down the racetrack in qualifying. Those elapsed times count as their qualifying number for that particular session or round, if you prefer. And if you get a win, you're still racing in the second and then the third qualifier. And so two of those racers will still be competing while they're making their qualifying runs in this grade 8 shootout. It creates a lot more opportunity for a big payday. When you think about up to $5,000 to win a class, $2,000 to win this grade 8 shootout, and these 8 competitors have the opportunity to take home that extra payday. And it's not a winner-take-all deal. There is money for going down the racetrack in each one of the qualifying rounds. And then if you're able to use that and capitalize on it and take it away, then you could have a really big payday this weekend. Well, our champion is back with us once again, and we're really hoping we can hear you.
Dave, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Hallelujah.
Man.
Hallelujah.
Fantastic. Dave, how are you doing?
Man, I could not be better. I as Zig Ziglar says, if it was any better, I'd think the deck was stacked. So we are happy that you were able to make it on, that we're able to now hear you. And,
Thank you for having me.
Man, congratulations on the championship in 2023. 2024 has been a year filled with challenges, but through it all, you have been a great champion, and I know that people look up to you and respect you for all that you've accomplished. And so we want to salute you for all your accomplishments in CHAOS.
Well, thank you, Dave. You know, we had a great year in 23, and we were hoping that we would continue that success, but 2024 has not been favorable to the Made in America Funny Car. We haven't given up. We've had some difficulties and some struggles, but if it was easy, there'd be a funny car in every garage. And it's hard and it's challenging, and sometimes it's the love of doing it and going through and facing those challenges, and sometimes having success and sometimes not.
Well, and there are so many times that you go to the racetrack, and you know, as the learning curve progresses and you feel like you're really getting it down and you have a little bit of success, it can humble you pretty fast, can't it?
Oh, absolutely. Drag racing is a very humbling endeavor at best. 2023, there were events, there were races, there were laps where we could do no wrong. And sometimes the win light had come on and you just go, ooh, that one didn't work out exactly the way that it was supposed to, but that light bulb's on and we're not giving it back. This year, trying to turn on a win light, I can't buy them. I can't find them. I don't know if they sell them anymore. But it's just the way that it's played, I guess. It's still fun, and we're still having fun. And I didn't get a chance to see all of tonight's show, but I heard Kirk talking about sometimes the fun's just being there with your friends, with your family, with your racing buddies. You know, everybody's friends in the pits at a drag race. I think if you haven't been to a drag race, or if you're thinking about going to a drag race, it's amazing to see what happens when the race cars aren't running. There's a lot of camaraderie. There's a lot of friendships made on a weekendly basis, race to race. That's part of what we do. It makes it fun and it makes it enjoyable. It's sometimes hard to explain. They see, if you're a casual fan, you see the guys running around in circles trying to get these cars prepared. There's a lot of fun involved with that hard work as well.
There definitely is. And you guys, your hardworking crew has really put a lot of effort into getting down the racetrack over the years and having success. I was looking at some stats, and that's one of those things that as the years go on, patterns emerge, and you've got you can see things that have happened by looking in reverse. And I talked about that. You kind of made the baseball metaphor of you coming out and calling your shot, just like in the natural, and then you just flat hit it out of the park. But here's another baseball metaphor for you. You're 7-2, in 9 final rounds. If you look at that as batting average, that's a 778. Dude, that's spectacular.
It's a lot of fun. And I know those 2 losses. I remember them vividly. In fact, I remember those a little bit more than I remember all the wins. It's some of it's luck. Some of it's a great team. I've been super blessed to be basically have 2 teams. And it's kind of the idea of the young versus the old a little bit. I was talking with Lee. I was asking him about, it made me feel old today, Lee, by the way. I asked him if he knew who George Burns was with the movie. I'm forgetting.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, You Devil. That's right. With the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder. That's kind of what I have right now. I've got one guy that wants to go fast all the time and just home run after home run, and I'm like, I'm not sure that's the best game plan. I've got another guy on the other side saying, you know what, if we run it a little bit conservative, we could probably leave the heads on it for this event. So it's a very unique situation in the Made in America pits these days, because it's a little bit of who do you want to listen to for the next lap? Do you want to just put it on kill and go for it, or do you want to be let's leave the heads on it for this afternoon?
Man, I tell you, now that kind of explains some things to me. I see you every once in a while because you're quite a tall guy. You're hard to miss. And so sometimes I see you out there and it's like, is he talking to himself? And maybe I think you're probably talking to those guys on your shoulders.
But the problem is they follow me in the car. No, I should say that. No, it's with the team that I had in 2021 and 2022, they were much younger and a little maybe not as experienced. They didn't work any less hard. They were great individuals, and they chose to move on. And that was a difficult choice for everyone involved. But that youth and enthusiasm was fantastic to have. Those guys, I can't say enough good things about them, honestly. And then once they left, I had the opportunity to have Joe and Chuck come and support the car. And it's not so much youth and enthusiasm, but old age and treachery. And in 2023, I'm pleasantly surprised and happy to say that old age and treachery won out. It may not have been 24, but that's the way it goes.
Well, yeah, they say that with age comes wisdom. You can add a little bit to that not necessarily is that always true, but it certainly is possible with that experience. Hey,
and I would bring up the idea that the previous 2 champions that have been on the show tonight, those guys have a ton of experience, a ton of knowledge about going fast, how to do it. Ken, in different applications, whether it's on land, whether it's on water, those laps, those runs, those tuning decisions, they go a long way and they're not forgotten. So when Joe came to the Made in America Funny Car team, he was a former top alcohol funny car racer. So having his knowledge and background was almost like having my own Singleton in my camp too. And it pays off. That knowledge is invaluable. Very, very much so.
You're talking about those guys with more experience and lots of laps and all those, and you come along and you've got the championship. That points to something else that we are very excited to see in the world of Funny Car Chaos. And there seems to be a growing number of people that are putting funny cars together. Some pretty young, and they are wanting to see if they can follow in the footsteps of you and Kirk and Ken. So after a year as champion, what's a tip? What's the mindset? what are your words of wisdom for those up and coming future stars of Funny Car Chaos?
Don't give up. It's a lot of work. Put in the hours, put in the time. You can do it. If people saw the size of the shop that the Made in America Funny Car comes out of each race weekend, they would be shocked. We get a look into the Singleton work area. We've seen a little bit of the Lawson work area on videos and pictures, and they have immaculate, wonderful facilities. I'm not that guy. I am a small racer with a small budget. If you're smart about what you do and how you do it, you don't have to spend the big dollars to be successful and be competitive. But it may take a little bit more time and energy to make that happen, but it can be done. The biggest part about the Made in America Funny Car and its success is there's no give up. There's no, well, we're going to take this and not do that, or we're going to do it 100% to the best of our abilities. And whatever happens, happens. It's drag racing. You can do the best you can, and that win light may not come on, but you do the best you can and be smart and talk to smart people like Ken Singleton and Kirk Williams and learn and use these and not this, and things tend to work out pretty good.
Well, I would say that is very sound advice for anybody in any sport, any racing or otherwise endeavor. 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. There's a lot of folks that have been doing what you are seeking to accomplish a lot longer than you have. And so their experience will save you a lot of money.
And I've told this story in the past. I knew that we were on the right track. I knew the Made in America car was making progress, maybe a little slower than I would have enjoyed. And I just watched Singleton go down the racetrack lap after lap, and I would try to take a peek if I could with his time slips, if I could catch one on flow or wherever they were coming up. And I was looking at his 60-foot times, and I'm just like, man, I know I can achieve something close to this, maybe not those numbers. So I finally pinned Ken down. I think we were at the Motorplex. And I said, Ken, I think I'm on the right track, but I need a little bit of help. Would you be willing to help me? And Ken stopped by my trailer for, I swear to, less than 60 seconds. And he took a piece of paper out of my notebook and scribbled a note on, hey, try this. I literally went out and set the fastest lap time I had ever run with less than 60 seconds of Ken Singleton's help. It's continuing an idea, and then when you don't know what's going on, when you don't know how to overcome that small obstacle or hurdle that's in your way, seek out somebody that has that experience, has that knowledge base. And in drag racing, thankfully, most people are willing to help.
I think that is excellent. As a man sows, so shall he reap. If a man sows generosity, as Ken did with you, he certainly has reaped many times more the reward by helping other people to continue. And I see that spirit reflected in you and your crew and a lot of the other crews out in CHAOS. You and your family, when you come to the races and when you come to the banquet, and I would imagine it's this way anywhere else you go, you guys are tight. It's easy to see a lot of love there.
Small family by size, close knit. We were trying to make a family operation for Mo-Kan this weekend. Unfortunately, my oldest daughter will not be able to make it, but we trust each other. We believe in each other, and we support each other. I think it's hilarious, to be honest. My wife gets nervous outside the race car. She says, "Are you nervous in the race car when you're getting ready to make a run?" I said, "No, I've got a job to do. I've got work to do. I have no time to be nervous." So I think it's funny that, they're nervous for me, and I've got a job to do. Just like I heard Kirk say, it's my job to pilot that machine that they've been giving me and to do the best I can, because most often, in my experience, the person that makes the mistake is the nut behind the wheel.
Well, the nut behind the wheel has certainly had his share of successes and victories. And again, congratulations on being a champion in Funny Car Chaos. Not your first championship, but your first championship in Funny Car Chaos, and well earned, well deserved. Now we're going into the championship finals of the 2024 season. You've got a race to run this weekend, and maybe to look forward to 2025. What's happening in Tom's mind?
Well, definitely looking forward to the finals in Mo-Kan. Carl Blanton puts together a wonderful racetrack. I can't wait to see the improvements that Carl has done to Mo-Kan. I think it's a great racing surface. The pits may have had their challenges, but when you get past the water box, there's no worries in my mind. You know that it's going to be a good surface, and you have the opportunity to put down almost as much horsepower as you'd like. And as a driver and a car owner, that's what I search for, is high-class opportunities to go fast. Now, I know Kirk is basically in the same seat he was 360 some days ago. And I don't envy him. I wish I was in his spot because I wanted to vie for another championship, and Kirk's doing it. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to. We haven't been able to. But it's going to be a great finals. Wayne has done great putting himself in position. You've got Lawson up there. It's going to be a good show. I still keep saying one of these days I'm going to leave the race car at home just so I can come watch all these guys duke it out and not have to go service a car for the next 2 hours. And this finals is no different. It's going to be great.
It really, really is. And I can tell you that getting, from sitting where I sit and getting to take it all in and describe it as it's happening, it is all kinds of fun. And we are so excited that Mile High Crankshafts from up there in your neck of the woods, so to speak, is making it possible for us to live stream this event. So
we're very fortunate coming from Division 5 up here nobody likes to come to Denver to race because of the air quality, but we've got some high quality manufacturers. We've got Windberg crankshafts. We've got Mile High crankshafts to service them after we're done with them. Dave is fantastic. And there's 2 main repair shops for crankshafts, and to have one, 20, 25 miles down the road for me, it's a help. I'll be honest.
I'm sure. That saves on freight, saves on time, doesn't it?
Plus, you're going to go talk with people that are going to teach you stuff. Dave is one of those people for Mile High crankshafts. If you're questioning things, and a lot of times, and I've had this conversation with Dave on multiple crankshafts, I'm like, Dave, you get to make the decision. If you tell me we can repair it and we can make it work for whatever period of time, that's your decision, and I will decide. I will go with whatever you choose because you're the expert. And Dave is truly an expert. If you've ever walked in his shop, that man is busier than can be.
Well, and we are so excited to have them on board and helping us to bring this to that Chaos Nation that's really been missing the live stream throughout the season. We miss being able to bring it, but we're not going to have to miss it here for the championship finals. So to Dave and all that crew at Mile High Crankshafts, thank you. I know that I speak for many, many folks when I say thank you for making it possible. So, well, any other thoughts before we get to Mo-Kan, Tom?
No, thanks for having me on. I know Lee always says you either have to win a race or do something spectacular to get an interview. And I miss talking to Lee. I'd be honest, Lee, you used to come by and visit. Now, I don't know if you're at the racetracks anymore. You don't come by and visit me. I wish he was here. But no, it's looking forward to having a good time in Mo-Kan. Funny Car Chaos has been terrific for the Made in America Funny Car team. I want to thank, Quick Drive Units, B&J Transmissions, Percoco Marble and Tile, the American Muffler Shop in Texas. Those guys support me, and I'm trying to do the best I can to support them, and I'm really thankful for everything that we've been part of.
Well, man, couldn't have said it better. You've been a tremendous champion, and we're so excited to have you as part of Chaos Nation, and your name will forever be up there as one of the champions. And who knows, 2025, we might see you there again, and it certainly would not be unexpected. Thank you for being with us here, Tom.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your 2023 Funny Car Chaos champion, Tom Furches. Once again, always good to talk to him, as it was with Kirk and as it was with Ken. Hey, we're going to do just a little more preview of the Mo-Kan Championship Finals, brought to you by Twisted Shifterz, Darren Foster and his first-class operation up there in Fulton, Illinois, and we thank them for their support. But we'll have our final segment coming up right after these words from our sponsors.
Check out Twisted Shifterz for the largest selection of made in the USA custom shift knobs and adapters. Made for muscle cars, old and new, hot rods to race cars, and for the big rigs. With our original shift toppers adapter for the air shifters to use any threaded shift knob like the old days. Add custom lettering and logos to make it your own custom shift knob. TwistedShifters.com. We're made in America and we ship worldwide.
McKinney Motorsports is your #1 source for all your chassis needs. McKinney Motorsports is the leading chassis parts supplier and fabricator in nitro drag racing. From custom tanks and fittings, full chassis builds, body mounts, steering components, fasteners, tabs, clamps, composite parts, and much more. Our household name in the racing world guarantees added performance on the track. Join our list of proven winners that spans over 50 years of racing experience.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for tonight. We have just a little bit more to go as we are looking forward to Mo-Kan. So many of in fact, all of our champions talked about what a great place Mo-Kan Dragway is to be, and it is to race. And Tom was talking about how much fun it is to go there and see the improvements that they make. And it made me think, practically every time you roll in the gate at Mo-Kan Dragway, there's something new, there's something better. And man, so we really salute the Blanton family and their hardworking staff up there, because they continue to make sure that they are having a fan experience, a racer experience that is unmatched. So for all of us at Chaos Live and all of us that are part of Funny Car Chaos, we can't wait to see you either here on Chaos Live or at the track. And I think a lot of the teams have already headed out for the Joplin area, and a bunch more of us are heading out tomorrow. But it's going to be a great gathering as we are anticipating a pre-party there on Thursday night. There'll be live music presented by Myers Elgin Sausage, thanks to Chuck Lofton and their crew and their great sponsors, Myers Elgin Sausage. The pre-party featuring Blues Doctor, $10 for a great meal. And a lot of fun and fellowship will be happening right there. You know, you ought to be a part of it. And we look forward to seeing you. If you can make it in any way you can make it, we would love to have you there. For Chris Graves and Lee Kraft and everybody at Chaos, my name's David. I'm happy to have brought you Chaos Live tonight. A great visit with all three champions. And we're going to crown another champion. It might be one of the same ones we've already had, or it could be somebody brand new. And I know there's at least 4 people that are thinking, I hope it's me. Well, it's going to be a great time, and we're going to race for it. And after this weekend's race, we'll have another Chaos Live for you coming up very soon to recap the season and the race. Until we see you again, be well, be safe, be awesome. Good night, everybody.
The Chaos is back. Join us August 30th and 31st for the 59th annual Labor Day Classic, presented by Twisted Shifterz and headlined by Funny Car Chaos. See over 32 funny cars pounding the ground. And for the first time ever, the Chaos champion will be crowned right here in Mo-Kan. Catch wild, wheel-standing Dirty South Gassers, jaw-dropping backup girls, jets, and more. Kids 12 and under are free, and every ticket is a pit pass. Friday night and Saturday, August 30th and 31st. Visit MoKanDragway.com for more info, and we'll see you at the Chaos.